So I imagine I need to call the meeting to order, right? Okay. Call the meeting to order of the Mitchell Parks and Recs Board. We're going to do oath of office first.
So both of you gentlemen stand, raise your right hand, and then you can just read the sheet to me.
At the same time?
Yep.
All right.
I, Jeremy Goko, been appointed to the office of Parks and Recreation Board within for the City of Mitchell, Davidson County, South Dakota, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of South Dakota, and the ordinance of the City of Mitchell. And that I will faithfully and impartially, to the best of my knowledge and ability, perform all the duties of the office, Parks and Recreation Board.
Thank you. Welcome aboard.
Welcome.
Shall we
Is there-
take a minute and go around and introduce so that they know?
Andy Yerke. Chris Federer.
Nate Powell, Parks and Rec Director. Steve Will, Parks Supervisor. Jeremy Nielsen, Sports Complex Supervisor.
Thank you, Administrative Assistant. And that's Austin and Jeremy.
I would assume there's no public input since nobody's here. And no delegations. Additions and deletions. And then we need to approve the minutes.
Move to approve the minutes.
Move the second.
Then all those in favor?
Oh, all in favor? Aye. Approval of the bills.
Just a few items I wanted to mention real quick. I'll try to do this as fast as I can. Okay, page 29A, I'll take you there. Okay, so from Schemmer Associates, they are doing our design work for the rec center remodel, and we are just getting ready to go to bid on that, and it'll be probably happening in the next couple of weeks. On page 29B, just a mosquito program. We did start spraying this month. We did before the 4th, and again, started purchasing supplies for that as well. Next page, Nova Fitness Equipment. We were budgeted for about $25,000 worth of equipment. This is the 50% deposit to have that shipped in on site. Is that correct, Kevin? Yep. Page 31B. So Site 1 landscape is for irrigation supplies. It wasn't self-explanatory, so that's where I'll kind of point things out. Most everything in here, if it says utilities, it's, it's our utilities, yeah. So $60,000 here for the bike rent, that would be the skate park project. Again, that was a $120,000 project. and this was half of the payment, the first half. And that skate park, it will be open and ready to ride tomorrow at night. And that was it.
So typically, you've got your monthly bills that are all in here, and then you just point out anything that's like, anything that's out of your normal.
That, yeah, if I have to double, look at what it is to make sure that, usually I highlight it, and so, because I know that you guys will have the same question. Most everything pretty much says what it is, and if you have any questions, make sure you go ahead and point those out, and we can discuss that. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, as newly appointed, in some of these figures we haven't seen in the past, we don't know what's different or irregular, so going forward, we'll be filled in on all that stuff, so.
Yep.
Just from my experience on it, a lot of the stuff where you guys will see numbers on has been approved months and months, if not a year before, and you're just seeing the end, like the skate park one. You're just seeing the payments for that happening now, even though it was approved, I don't know how long ago. So the
Yeah.
money's already there. It's just the allocation now going out, or whatever, the amount of money going out.
Yeah, thanks.
Move to approve the bills?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Abstain. (2022) CIP request?
Yep.
Is that what you want to move to next?
So capital improvement, we started conversations last month. We have some new updates to bring you. We did pull out the artificial turf at the sports complex because we were able to take that to council. We did raise the 50% of the project through donations, and council did approve that to get that done this year. It had gone up by, I want to say, if my memory is correct, $40,000 over a course of 3 months. So we wanted to get that nailed down this year. Also, timing as well can be done in the fall is the best time for us. So if we don't do it now, we'd have to wait another year. So we're excited to move that forward. So that's no longer in here. The only addition that I put in here, I wanted to put something in here to replace that. One of the things that we're looking at is, and we can go back to our master plan, and I'll fill you guys in. I'll send you some emails with our master plans, and that's trail work between Kiwanis, the amphitheater, the campground bridge, and also to the Indian Village. One of the things I'd like to do is get started on the design work for and actually build the trail between Kiwanis and Indian Village. I think that'll help us get going to get grants. I will be applying for grants to pave that, but this is just a gravel project for now. And eventually also a grant for the bridge that goes over to the campground. And that'll also tie in 2 years to the trail going along the spillway along Highway 37 as well. So there's going to be a lot of pedestrian traffic in there, and it would be good to really promote that, and to bring an ADA pedestrian trail along the water, I think would be a great asset to Lake Mitchell. And so that's what I'm requesting in here. I know we haven't discussed that before, but I had to come up with something other than another project for Jeremy. So he's got a lot of work coming up to him, so we're excited about those projects. I don't know that there's too many other things that were changed. The shade structure. Angel, do you have an updated one for me? The capital improvement. I'm just stealing this one so I can keep talking. The shade structure for the concession area at the outdoor pool. We have shade structures there that are actually, they continually break and fall on the staff, and we're worried about injuries. So it's better to get rid of those and actually put in a whole new shade structure at the concession stand and use some of our better ones out in the open area, some of the older ones. So that was also added. And I don't think I had pontoon boat in there as well for public rental. Steve also needs one for putting in docks. They have a regular V boat, and it'd be nice to have a pontoon boat for that. But we'll also be able to rent it out to the public. So it'd be kind of our first opportunity to do public boat rentals there at the campground.
You have one in mind for purchase for that, I've been looking around, boats are hard to find right now.
Yes.
Yeah, well, I didn't say, I can't say that we can go buy one today, but I did look at prices, and I put a little bit extra in there to cover any increases that we could probably see over the next year. But yeah, it would be dependent on, yeah, it wouldn't be till next spring. But I'm sorry, it should say cabin design and layout. So the cabins are out at Fire Steel, and we have to do the design and layout, I think, before. But since we have so many unknowns coming up with the dredging design and the spoil site and everything like that, I want to go ahead and do the design work while we're waiting. We'll have those answers by January, so we'll know what's happening with Firestone Park by then. But to get this on the radar would be good, so we don't lose another year. It'd be a design, and then we would put in the utilities, design in 2022, utilities 2023, cabins in 2024.
So is this like a design of the actual structure itself, or just locations and that kind of thing?
Both, yep.
Couple questions. One on that, on connecting those, Indian Village, that Kiwanis there.
Mm-hmm.
That Two Good Man. Just curious at like what's the main expenses there?
The main expenses, 63,000 of that would be design work approximately. I got some quotes. Not saying that's who we'd go with. We just kind of get quotes so we get an idea. But usually when you hire someone to do an RFP or request for proposal or you just call and get quotes from a few different companies, and then we kind of move on it. The rest of it is digging it out and putting in the weed breaker. What would you call that, Andy? The fabric. Yeah, and then gravel on top of that as well. So it'd be a smooth gravel. It'd be a completed trail, but it won't be paved yet. But in the meantime, we'll be applying for grants to hopefully get that paved.
And then the other question I have is just on these totals. How does that stack up for like a typical year? Is that pretty typical that this will be at, I guess, maybe it's 1.2, 1.3 million-ish of
Yep.
expenditures? Is that
We probably get approval anywhere from 300 to 600 the last 5 years I've been here.
okay? So it's a little more than.
Yep.
Just was curious on that. How it stacked up.
Yep. It's kind of, we have some big ones in here, like with the rec center remodel though, so we won't, sometimes just to get it on the radar, even though it may not get approved, we may be able to find funding throughout the year, but at least the council knows that this board would like to see that move forward. Yep. And so it may not be that it gets approved, but we still have it on the radar. We still want them to know that we want to get it done. So it kind of takes time on a few items. A lot of these with equipment, we have, well over 120 pieces of equipment. If we're not replacing, 5 or 6 pieces a year, we'll just never catch up, Yep. Yep. And then, any other questions along those lines? I have on the right-hand side, if it's an enterprise fund like the campground's going to cover the costs of the cabin design and the boat. So those are covered. So those aren't general fund dollars. If I have grant, if you look at the Dry Run Creek trail lighting, we haven't been approved for that yet, but I'm expecting it as a possibility. So we have it on here, but we should get $94,000 in grant funds towards that project. in the Kiwanis Playground expansion, the Kiwanis Club is fronting all the costs for that project. So there's no general fund dollars for that either. So you could subtract from our total, I don't have a total here, but you can subtract the 230,000 from the total, because those are funds that don't come from general fund, and we should have less problem getting those approved.
And so basically, our board here looks at this and says that these are items that we think are a priority.
Yep, the staff,
And then the city council will actually, they're the ones that approve it as far as what's in the budget.
that's correct. This is staff recommendation, and if you have questions for the staff, this is a good time to ask those as well. And I don't know if you guys had anything to add.
You guys got some questions, man?
No, I
Yep.
was more so just how.
Yep. And a lot of this is based on our master plan process, so we kind of know what's on the radar, on what we have coming up, and I'll send those to you as well. We try to stay with those as best we can.
I have a question about the cabin design layout.
Mhm.
I was always picturing that coming last after we did the dredging and engineering. Why do we have to do it first? I don't see the need for it, I guess, until late spring.
Revenue generators, so I'm trying to get our revenue up there to, we're going to be, the campground's going to be at 100,000 in revenue by this year. If we can get that up to 200,000 in revenue, it can really help get things going around the lake. And so that's the reason why that's up front. Same with the jetty. I think that's a high priority project because that's another revenue generator. But it would be nice to see those increase.
Have you seen a need for cabins? And I guess I'm curious how.
It's been requested in both of our master plans.
I've seen it, I struggle with it.
Yeah.
I see hotel rooms around town. I don't want to be competing with businesses.
Yep, so it requires us to get permission from the 5 local campgrounds. We have 4, I just need 1 more, and it's a handwritten, they sign off on it, and they say we're okay to move forward. So we have the support of all the local campgrounds to move forward with the cabins. And we will not move forward until we do have them all.
I think also is that we have to keep up with the camp control regs, because some people want to have, so if you don't have that, then they're just going to honestly go to another place and use all the revenue.
Just so you guys are aware, these cabins aren't going to be at the campground. They're going to be out by Fire Seal.
Oh.
They're going to be managed by the campground. but-
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
I think I did see that.
Just,
Sorry.
no, I mean, it is part of the campground. I just want to make sure you were aware that they weren't on site there.
But they are going to be managed by whoever.
Well, ideally, the ultimate plan with the jetty and with the campground is to have a management company take care of it, but we would be open to talking with someone or, but we're just not at that point yet. But once it's done, and that would be a situation where we wouldn't be cleaning them or anything like that, but we would probably be handling the online reservations and handing the cleaning and maintenance on to another company. Yeah.
Any questions? I need a motion to approve capital request for 2026.
I'd like to vote on the campground and the pontoon separately. So I'll make a motion for everything excluding those two, then we can do those two separate. You guys are okay? I mean, so I guess I move to approve the capital credits outside of the campground design and the pontoon.
All in favor?
Aye.
So then I need a motion to approve the campground plan. We do it separately.
You can. Yeah, I would do it that way.
All right. I need a motion to approve the campground design layout.
Keep in mind, the board did approve in the master plan to put the cabins in there.
I don't know a lot about it being newly here, so I can't really
I cannot meet with you guys again until, this is our last time. I know you guys are a little late here, but we can't meet again. If this doesn't get done, it won't get done next year.
I'm probably going to lean on more experienced members, because I do kind of.
Well, I will tell you, him and I have different opinions on this. I'm a mountain bike guy, and Ken and I are leaving next week to stay in a little cabin next to mountain bike trails.
Where
That's
at?
what I'm doing, in Minnesota. It doesn't matter where it is, but this is the same thing. There's mountain, those guys with mountain bikes, they always want to have a cabin. They got their Jeep for mountain bikes. So it's just from that angle that I look at it, which maybe isn't, I don't know, maybe it's only 10 people a year, I have no idea. I
Do
just know
you think that they would get use this would be, if they got approved now, they'd get put in next year and they would start being rented out? next
Probably
year?
2 years, or 3 years.
2024.
Yeah, 2024.
It's all, it's dependent on the, it's dependent right now on the dredging design in that project, the dredging project. So it wouldn't happen probably for a few years because
So if we approve it now.
I'm just working on the design. Well, that's all I'm doing. We're just doing
Then
design.
that's what's going to cost the 20,000.
That's correct, yeah.
I mean, I could get on board with that, because at some point, I think that they're going to get used. I don't think they're going to get used much until something gets figured out in the lake. But if it's 20,000, that's good money spent to get the design going.
Yeah, I'll motion to approve.
So you make a motion to approve it? So you make a motion to approve it. If somebody wants to second it, then you can, and then everybody has to either say aye or nay.
Well, what I'm saying is, I second
You can second it,
it. I
yeah.
second it.
And then- And pontoon boat would be the other one.
You have a motion to approve the pontoon boat for the public rental campground?
With this one, I'm just questioning the timing of it. For refresh my memory, when are we dredging one?
It's,
Or what's the goal, I should say?
yeah, it would be, the earliest would be 2023. Yeah.
So we buy it in 2022, and then we have it sit around for a year.
Well, I think that you just say.
Yeah. Yeah, Steve, could you weigh in on how you guys would use
We
it?
have somebody, yes, somebody's doing it.
We
Getting
t-
it set up now.
We're testing it right now every week. We have to take our boat on a trailer and put it in the water, go out to the middle, test the water. Do you want to?
Yeah, the boat that we're using now is actually the police department's boat, which is on loan, I believe, from the game fishing parks, that they get from them. So it's old. It's got a 50 horsepower motor. Some of them big fishing piers, like at Frank's Bay, we got to wait till it's absolutely calm day to try to move that around. When we put that in and out, we've had it happen where the wind come up and you lose control. We can't control that dock with that little boat that we use. And be nice to have a second boat or use this one to have a bigger motor on it, bigger, hopefully, to maneuver the docks a little bit better. Like Nate said, we're out there every Monday taking water samples. It would be in the water where we just go to the campground, jump on it, go quickly, get our samples, type of thing. We have a dock at the campground. We're hopefully going to just tie it up to that dock. Yep, just tie it up now. Eventually, we'll have to expand our dock at the campground later on because it'll get tight with all of our other stuff that we have there. And if we get more pontoon boats, if it goes over good. But you out to the river, it's a pretty hot item, Every time I've been out there renting one, they're always either rented or you got to wait for it.
Just since I'm insurance, how do you guys talk about insurance and stuff like that?
Ye- Yeah, we it's all covered by the city.
I'm a little concerned you're not going to, I know you're going to get a bigger platform on pontoon, but I'm not sure you're going to get, when I've been looking for prices,
Yeah, I was
you're not going to get a
thinking,
bigger motor for that
if you look at
18,000.
Facebook and Marketplace and things, they've gone up in price, it seems like, but have you seen any in that price range that are?
Yeah, that's
enough for somebody?
Yeah, I wish I had a photo for you. I did not even think about that today because we added this just recently. But it's just it's a 50 horse. It seats, I think it was it 8 people, Steve? I think it was 8 people.
Did you say that 50 horse wasn't enough to get them across the boat? Now we've got a pontoon that the wind's going to affect even more.
Well, we're hoping to use both boats to maneuver our docks out into position. You about have to use 2 boats.
So from what I'm seeing, this is one of the funds that are available from campground.
That's correct. Yep.
Basically, this wouldn't be in play except for the fact that campground.
That's correct.
So what happens if we get to next year and we can't find more of that price? Do we buy the best we get on that price, or we hold on, ask for more money?
I don't know, we'd probably hold off on it. I'm not sure that we would overpay for something right now. I don't want to buy a used one for $18,000.
Is this something that if, just say we bought it next year, used it, and it got rented a bunch, it worked well for what they needed it for testing the knocks and all that, would they ever look at replacing it with a bigger, nicer one, or a second one, because you have the demand for one? I'm just wondering if it doesn't make sense to buy now, or just wait and buy a nicer, bigger one after the lake is in good shape.
We can up that price. I mean, we can up that price right today if you wanted to. If you wanted to put 25 towards a pontoon boat or...
Well, the only thing that my reservation with that is that I have a hard time spending more when we know that it's going to sit for a year.
Well, one thing though too is that he mentioned that almost took the boat over and whatnot. I mean, you kind of got to look at the safety aspect too for current workers. I mean, they're discovering now with the dogs and is that kind of what you stated?
Yeah, we have a real issue with that boat that we have right now, and we're seeing an
The money concept's great, but if this boat comes down to a safety issue too, I think we should consider that. Because $25,000 compared to somebody potentially drowning and getting hurt for bad, it's not bad either. So because of that, I motion to approve.
A second.
All in favor?
Okay, I think that was, and then you guys have the contracts in front of you as well. You can go ahead, Andy, and go through, you can mention what we're doing next.
So this is the contract for installing turf at.
Yep, so this is the artificial turf contract. We did negotiate the price down a little bit, so we are at $371 total, and that would, there's just a lot of documents here. We printed the ones that were most important for you. Angel, do you have the updated one on that? Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't see that, thank you.
What is the 370, I'm looking at the bottom of the base and 324.
Yep, so let's start with the A101 217 document. This is the contract with kind of the details. If you look at Article 2, items included and items not included. We've gone through that with our engineering department. 371, the actual cost is on Article 4. It's the total price of the items. You see where the articles are? Yep, okay. And if you look on here, this is more of just of a detailed of what we're getting for each price. The 324 was the artificial turf that we were going for half of the funding. And then the items that we added with council was the ARC. Jeremy wanted to have that for maintenance purposes, and also the bullpens. We wanted to replace those as well. And And then we, with the donations, they are requesting their logos in the turf itself. And so that's the cost of having that installed. And then there's more to the project. Jeremy, if you want to talk about the backstops and...
Also with the artificial turf, right now, we have just a chain link backstop on Drake, so it's beat up from over the years. We're going to have a company come in that has put the backstop in on the stadium and all the other split block face dugouts and do a backstop just like the stadium. We'll also need a little bit of fencing to close off the field so you can't just walk on it and anyone can play. And backstop padding for that block. We'll need something so the balls don't ricochet back.
I'll just fill you in also, our city attorney looks at all these contracts ahead of time, and I don't bring them here until they're approved through him for protection of the city. These are a Sourcewell contract, which is a state bid price that we're getting, and so you don't have to go through a bidding process when you go through the Sourcewell contract, because all the prices are the same. And so we're good to go. We've gone through everything that we need to, and we're submitting this here today to get started on this. When would be the start process? When the date?
They're going to do the backstop the day after the state tournament. They'll start with the backstop, do that first, take about a week, and then the turf company come in, and it's approximately 6 weeks.
Well, the 101 feet in field line, is that good all the way back into the outfield, or is that?
That's 6 feet into the outfield. Regulation is from the pitching rubber a 95-foot arc, but a lot of those players stand in the grass and then step up. So I wanted to go 6 feet back for that maintenance issue.
We would have probably, I want to say, after we negotiated this down, we're going to have about 13 or 14,000 in contingency on this project.
The project is going to encompass Drake and then the cages next to it.
Jeremy?
Nope, just the infield, that arc, and the 2 bullpens. We did, it was just a kind of a outdoor carpet, probably 6 years ago, 7 years ago, and it's held up really good. And then we redid the batting cages last fall.
And council approved $411,000 for this project.
Who's going to, so we got your not listed items here? Who's going to be doing all of it? I'm assuming some of this stuff.
Yeah. Internal or within our contingency funds that we feel we're covering. For instance, Geotech is out there today, and we're going to cover that with our contingency funds.
How many donations do you have in this project?
We had 3. We had 65,000 from Dakota Wesleyan, 65 from Mitchell Baseball. Oh, we had 4 actually, sorry. 15,000 from Exchange Club and 30,000 from, I'm not sure if I can say it, but it will be the name of the field that's been the name of the field. The problem that we had is we try to get that 50%, but the prices of the turf keeps going up, so then we got to keep back and finding donors and trying to ask for more money from the ones we had.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I haven't been involved in all of this, but like you said, if we don't act now, potentially prices going up and stuff, so I would motion to approve. That's kind of what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Second. All in favor?
Okay, skate park. Go ahead, Andy, if you want to, sorry about that. Okay, we were able to raise more funds than we had originally anticipated. And so the plan originally was to replace, what we've currently done is we've done the street park and the bowl for the 120,000. We didn't have the funds to replace the 2 ramps, but we went over, so we'll have enough to cover one of the ramps, and we'd like to go ahead and get that replaced. It's an old metal one that doesn't ride very well, and so we want to use those funds. Those funds are dedicated, they were donated for the skate park, so we have to use it there, and that's my recommendation, is to replace that. What's that? No. It'll just go to surplus. Yep. So if anyone needs to leave, we're just going to go through our board reports now, and, yep.
Yes, nice to meet you guys. So we're going to run.
Yeah.
I think I'm usually first. Want me to go? I'll go. Okay. I'll quickly highlight just a couple things. As far as our programs, we're into our second session with a lot of our things like swimming lessons and tennis and Dakota Kids. Baseball and softball will be wrapped up by the end of next week with most of it. Our track program ended at the end of June, and we had our track meet on the 29th. Dakota Wesleyan, their head coach and some of their athletes stick around for the summer, and they run that program. And I think we had about 70 kids in that program, and I'd say between 60 and 65 showed up for the meet. So it was a great night, perfect night for it. So it was a good way to end that season. And then as far as programs go to, hate to talk about it already, but we're going to start taking registration for fall football already here in the next 2 weeks, starting on the 19th. So we're kind of working on our fall-winter brochure right now that we'll have out online probably by the end of July. Outdoor Aquatic Center has been going well. It's been really nice out. You know, we've had a couple cool days here in these last 5 or 6 days where we had to close down either early or for the whole day with rain. But overall, it's been a pretty solid summer. Obviously, getting back from last year when we had to open late, but I think we were doing well with our day passes and our memberships. We had that big sale, 25% off sale at the beginning of May, and I think that hit pretty well. And I think more people found out about that this year, didn't get in that week, and we'll probably get in next year when we do that again. And so we'll get more memberships that way as well. But it's been going really well. The Aquatic Club held their outdoor meet the weekend of the 25th through the 27th. They had a good turnout. Not the greatest of weather. It had rain all day, I think, on Saturday. They started at Friday night, but I think they had a good turnout regardless of the weather. So it was good for them to get their first outdoor meet in well over a year. So as far as the rec center goes, we had in June there, we had our Corn Belt camps that come in and use our gyms for 2 days, Wednesdays and Thursdays for 3 weeks. They go all the way from varsity boys and girls to JV boys and girls, and Bill Marquardt does that. So that's it's kind of a nice thing to have in the summer, because typically our summers are a little bit slower, and so to have all those kids in there is kind of nice. We are still on track to drain both of our indoor pools on the 26th of July. We're actually on the 24th, that Saturday, we're going to kind of start bleeding out the chlorine. So the pool both of those pools will be closed starting the 24th. and we'll drain them and get them cleaned up, and they'll come in and patch those areas for us, and hopefully we can get that done in a month or sooner, hopefully. So it's about a 2.5-week process just to drain the pools, fill them back up, put the chemicals in and all that kind of stuff, because you gotta drain them both separately. Can't drain them both at the same time, so it's kind of a long process, and fill them up at the same time, so. Any questions about anything else?
So what are you looking at doing with Mitchell baseball for the youth baseball program?
We're just kind of getting some talks going with them about, to see if they would want, they're basically 13 and up.
Yep.
And we're seeing a little bit of a decrease in numbers at the younger age levels. And, there's traveling teams out there as well. And we'd like to see if they'd be at least willing to talk about maybe everybody kind of joining in on one Mitchell baseball kind of program from young ages all the way up. Somehow, I don't know how that'll look.
Program
Kind of. We still want to, we're fine with people having their traveling teams, but if some of those kids could play in an in-town league as well as that, we can't force people to do anything, but we just want to start to get the talks going with them to see their interest. We've had a few talks with some of the people that are doing some of the traveling teams, and there's some interest in there as well. So, it's something that's probably not going to happen next year. It'd be nice, but if you don't start talking about it now, it's never going to happen. So
I know from, my son plays both. So I know when we're at, number one question I get, is there room on your son's team?
yeah,
Everyone's always looking for.
yeah, and we want to try and make it available, all of those opportunities, both our programs and the traveling stuff, if possible, make it available to as many as possible. So that's kind of our goal. I really don't know how that's going to look. It can look 100 different ways, but we just want to get the conversation started. Thank you.
Okay, we got our flowers planted Hitchcock and Pat Young Parks, at the ongoing irrigation maintenance in Hitchcock, Pat Young, Pioneer. Did a little bit of fertilizing. The skate park, we'd already talked about that's under construction, and they should be done tomorrow. Then we got to finish up with some dirt work and landscaping and some of the touch-up stuff. Had a couple busy weekends in Hitchcock Park. The one weekend we had a tennis tournament. The Heart, Soul, and Cancer Walk was in Hitchcock on June 18th. Kevin mentioned the swim meet was June 25th and through the 27th. And also we had the triathlon in there somewhere. Then just getting the lake and beaches ready for 4th of July and got that all cleaned up afterwards. Wasn't too bad out there.
It's honestly disgraceful. But our own people in this town do those beaches like that. It's just awful.
Yeah.
That's what I heard from some people.
So thank you guys for cleaning it up.
Yeah.
I do
Took the
want to
staff.
thank Medina Sanitation for providing the dumpsters out there, and Lions Club also came out and helped out as well, so we appreciate all their help.
And there's been ongoing maintenance at the old Kelly property, spraying along fence lines, cracks in sidewalks, trying to get rid of weeds. Been digging and spraying some thistles, put out mosquito traps. We fogged the city the week of the 4th. Cleaned up a few tree piles around the lake, and then we had to move the T-pads for hole 1 and 2 in dry run because of the new skate park addition. We had to kind of reconfigure that a little bit. Any questions?
Over at Cadwell, we got a few tournaments coming up. This Saturday is the 35 and over women's slow pitch, and then next weekend is the youth state softball. Those are ones that we'll be doing concessions. Concessions has been going very well as of, I haven't checked recently, but as of a few weeks ago, This year, we're at about $26,000 for concessions. Slow pitch men's and women's still going on Wednesdays and Thursday nights. That'll go into August. Park and rec, baseball and softball will be done next week. Most of these travel teams, they'll be done next week also with that state youth tournament. They have a few scraggler games here and there after that. Teeners and Legion still going. They will go into the first part of August is when they have their state tournaments. And the two football teams, the Bulldogs and the Buffaloes, had their last games 2 weekends ago. Lots of work with irrigation. This rain is very, very nice, but we had one pump down for about 3 weeks during there, and both of them went down for a few days, so it was a little bit of a struggle with pressure, and we got them both going now. A few irrigation breaks here and there. There's a lot of heads that are getting clogged. It seems a lot more this year than last year, or the last few years. We poured the pad for the middle school shed, so we'll get a contractor in to build that, and then we can have kind of our shop back that they've been using in the ice arena. I do have all 4 scoreboards for the West softball fields donated. 3 of them will be given checks. I'll have all 3 checks here in a couple weeks, so I'm going to get 3 of them ordered, hopefully get those in this year. The 4th one will need to go in the budget. It's donated, but that company is going to pay over 4 years. So we're going to put it in the budget so we can get that and hopefully have that one up before the start of the season next year. And then just a lot of maintenance and cleaning. It's been very busy with games and practices, tournaments this year. Out at soccer, that lacrosse camp got canceled last month, but I just talked to them earlier this week. They are still planning to have it next weekend. I'm not sure how many people. For the first one, he was talking 20 families, so maybe a couple kids in there. So hopefully that'll be even more, and we can continue to do this and maybe even get lacrosse here. And a lot of irrigation, plugged heads out at soccer. They're cleaning those pretty much weekly out there. The ice arena rink tech was here, or is still here. They're going to put in a double door on the northeast corner of the ice arena, because when they built that ice arena, the compressors were the first thing that they put in, and then they built the rooms around it. So now they can't get them out. So there'll be a double door putting in there, and then they'll be coming about the middle of August to install new compressors in the north rink, and we'll time it to right when they're done. They'll be there to help start them up, and we'll have ice is going to be ready by September 15th this year.
First item I want to bring up, I had here that the ice arena warranty issue was completed, and it leaked again in that last rainstorm, so we're going right back to the drawing board. We did deal with the snow issues, and we did deal with much of the leaking, but there's still some leaking, and we think it's from the old roof on the north rink, and we're looking for what we're going to do right now. So I don't have any answers yet, but that's just been an ongoing issue. So I'll put that back on my project list. Couple other items. Kevin, did you mention the zip line by chance? Did you bring that? So the zip line, we did get the new zip line. It was under warranty. They did replace it at no cost except for the shipping. So we got the new structure, but the retractable system has not been shipped to us yet, and I don't know if I have an email today or not, but we're still waiting for that. So that's why that's been down for so long, and we're hoping to have that back up and running soon, but we're still working on that. And Kevin did talk about the warranty issues with the sunstone in the pools, and we'll be addressing that next month. And then that warranty will come to an end after that project is done. The skate park will open back up tomorrow. I had it closed till the 12th on here, but we are going to actually be able to open that a little early. We do have a skate park ribbon cutting and grand opening on July 23rd from 11. We'll do the ribbon cutting 11, and we'll provide food and drinks to everyone until about 12:30 that day, and just kind of inviting everybody out and recognizing all the people that helped donate and were a part of that project. And then I guess I do want to mention on my last item here, last time we didn't have a park board meeting last month. We had to postpone it for a week because of a lack of quorum. And I do want to tell you that tonight, if we continue at 7, we will have board members that will not be able to come, and they'll have to, they won't be able to be on the board. So the 7 o'clock's not working for others. I know 5 and 6 doesn't work for others, but at some point, we're going to have to, ideally 5:30, but or 6, you know, yeah. Yeah. We're just kind of have an issue with, we got to pick a time and kind of stick with it, and I understand that, you know, I don't know what else to do, but we're struggling with getting a quorum. We could, yeah.
Could you send out a poll?
We could. I mean, we can find a day and time that works for everybody and see if we can't come up with something.
The problem for me is, when I say now, changes 3 months, my kid's schedule changes, but you know you're going to be busy.
Fortunately, we were able to get a quorum today, but it's just been a struggle each month.
I shouldn't have much of an issue unless I'm going to be out of town.
Okay.
I don't have kids or anything to run around, so for me, it's more of a, earlier is more convenient, but whatever works is going to have to be as much.
We'll send out a doodle poll if you want to set next month for the 6, for 6 p.m. That would help, and we kind of can go from there. Yeah, election of officers will be next month as well.
It'll be August 12th next month.
So whoever misses the meeting next month,
Is it the 12th? I just wanted to bring that up. Ultimately, it's up to the board on what day and time they want to meet.
I feel like 6 is fair for that one. As far as most people us who have signed up, that's what meetings were, so. I guess if we want to change it to whatever majority.
So do we have to set the last one for 6, and then you'll send out a poll,
Yeah, we'll set it for 6 next month, and then we'll do a doodle poll, and I'll bring it next month, and then you guys can kind of discuss it. That'll be the best way to handle it. I can let you know the results ahead of time, so you know. And I'm still trying to get tablets. I'll check into that, see where that's at for everybody, so.
Is it the second Thursday of the month? Is that right?
Yeah, yeah.
So you lied to too, but actually my wife.
I got complaints and I've got thank yous at the same time, so we.
Depending on when you went through too. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
If it was too warm, you were throwing rock, is that the deal? Well, what happened to probably go through
It's
about.
sticky for the first 24 hours, yeah.
I think I was through about an hour after it was done, because I went for a walk and it wasn't done, and I went for a bike ride and didn't notice until it was. Yeah. It was crappy.
You can always call Public Works to have them come out and work on it, so.
Yeah, I think you guys took care of the major ones. Anything else we need to do?
And I think that's it. Oh, water report. I noticed I didn't include a water report this month, so I went ahead and pulled that up here. We did exceed 8 today, so we have gone into a warning level, which is we do send out a press release. We have done that. But we've been, around 5 already this month, and we were down to 2.5 and then back up to 5. I don't have phosphorus results from the 28th yet, but as you can see on the 21st, it's almost the same every year. It's kind of strange how the phosphorus is behaving pretty much the same regardless of the weather. But we expect it to be above 1,000 by the middle of July. But those toxic levels, you can tell it's smelling really bad, so you know that means the toxic levels are going up. And
So is that jump compared to the other years?
well, it was 12 back in 2018, and also if you go back to 2017, I might have that open. I do not. Here's the chart. You can see 2017, the microsystems were really high for quite a while. And then we hit this level in June of 2018. We hit it again in July of 2019 and then September of 2020. And we're kind of back to that. I think we're going to be back to that 2017 issue if we don't get too much, if we don't continue to have a dry summer. If it starts to rain and we get some water flowing, it might change, but we could be down for a while. And again, this is what's coming out of the bottom of the lake. Not what's coming in is not as bad as what the lake is going to read. So that's my report. Yep.
That's it. 6 o'clock on July.
I'd ask you to make a motion to adjourn, but you don't have a quorum.